The departure of Taehyung and Jungkook from BTS would be an event that shakes the foundations of the global entertainment industry and changes the trajectory of the group that has broken numerous world records. As two members with enormous individual fan bases, their absence would create a void that no one could truly replace. BTS, which has long been known for the strong synergy among its 7 members, would inevitably face a new reality that is vastly different and filled with challenges. The group dynamics that have been built over more than a decade would undergo a complete transformation, both musically and in terms of the interactions among the remaining members. From a musical perspective, BTS's sound would be noticeably different without Taehyung's deep and rich vocal tone and Jungkook's versatile singing ability. The harmonies of their songs, which were originally arranged to accommodate the vocal ranges of all 7 members, would need to be drastically reworked for live performances. Fans might feel the absence of the emotional depth often brought by Taehyung's voice and the dynamic energy consistently delivered by Jungkook. This would require the remaining members to adapt to new roles and redistribute song parts from scratch. In terms of stage performances, BTS's iconic 7-member formation would disappear, forcing choreographers to redesign every dance move. Jungkook's absence, as he often occupies the center position in many title tracks, would require the visual aspect of performances to be completely reimagined. To maintain their power and aesthetics, Taehyung, known for his theatrical charisma and commanding stage presence, would also leave a significant gap that would alter the atmosphere of every concert. Loyal fans would undoubtedly experience an awkward transition while watching performances with an incomplete lineup. The commercial impact of losing these 2 popular members would be highly significant. For the agency managing them, album sales, concert tickets, and various collaborative products that have long been driven by their individual popularity would likely experience fluctuations. The company would have to devise highly creative strategies to maintain the group's relevance in the increasingly competitive global market. Losing the individual appeal of these 2 major stars would trigger a major shift in the business structure that has long relied on the collective strength of all 7 members. Emotionally, the brotherhood that has been forged among the 7 BTS members over the years is one of the key reasons why fans love them so deeply. If Taehyung and Jungkook were to pursue different paths, the narrative of 7 people as one that has been promoted for years would gradually fade. ARMY, the fandom known for its dedication, would likely go through a period of profound collective grief. The genuine interactions and companionship they have often shared in front of cameras would become cherished memories, making the transition painful for millions of supporters worldwide. The future of BTS as a group might shift toward a more experimental direction or even focus more heavily on the solo careers of the remaining members. They might take longer breaks to search for a new identity without the 2 members. The immense mental pressure and public expectations would become an additional burden for those who choose to stay. Maintaining consistency in creating music that resonates with global audiences would become one of the greatest challenges in this new chapter of their lives. The agency would likely implement preventive measures and mitigation strategies to calm both the market and fans should such a situation occur. Official announcements would be carefully crafted to prevent excessive turmoil that could damage the group's long-term reputation. However, no matter how sophisticated the public relations efforts might be, the reality that BTS is no longer complete would still dominate international headlines. Speculation regarding the reasons behind such a decision would continue to grow, creating waves of information that would be difficult to control. For the remaining members, the situation would become a deeply introspective moment regarding their own futures in the music industry. They would have to decide whether to continue under the BTS name or embark on new personal projects. This decision would determine whether the legacy BTS has built over the years would remain strong or gradually fade. The loyalty of the remaining members would be tested by drastic changes in the working environment and team dynamics after losing 2 of its pillars. Fans around the world would likely become divided in their responses to such a lineup change. Some would continue supporting the remaining members with unwavering loyalty, while others might struggle to accept that BTS is no longer the same. The fandom community, long known for its organization and supportiveness, would face an unprecedented test of solidarity. Losing two beloved figures would create a more melancholic and reflective atmosphere within the community. The K-pop industry, as a whole, would also feel the effects of such a structural change within BTS. Many younger groups that have looked to BTS as the standard of success would witness a shift in trends influenced by these internal changes. The global dominance BTS has maintained for years could be challenged, opening opportunities for other groups to fill the vacuum. The industry would closely observe how a musical giant responds to the loss of key members. From a technical standpoint, every future BTS production would require highly complex adjustments. Producers would need to work harder to ensure that each release still carries the spirit of BTS, despite having significantly fewer vocal resources. The production quality that has long been one of their greatest strengths would still be expected to meet exceptionally high standards. Failure to maintain those standards would leave room for criticism, with many attributing any decline to the absence of Taehyung and Jungkook. Social media, which serves as one of BTS's primary means of communicating with fans, would experience a drastic shift in interaction patterns. Content that once showcased the cheerful dynamics of seven members would transform into something noticeably different. Losing Taehyung and Jungkook would also mean losing many of the moments that frequently went viral across platforms. The remaining members would need to find new ways to keep fan engagement high without relying on the charisma these two individuals often brought. Financially, advertising contracts and global brand partnerships would likely undergo reevaluation. Many brands that collaborate with BTS, because of the collective influence of all seven members, would reconsider their agreements. This uncertainty could lead to fluctuations in the agency's stock prices, considering the group's immense contribution to company revenues. BTS's appearances at award shows and major concerts would also feel profoundly different. Empty spaces or altered formations would constantly remind fans of the separation. Every acceptance speech or stage performance would carry memories of the days when they were still together, adding an emotional layer that would make each appearance feel deeply sentimental. On the other hand, such a departure could become an opportunity for Taehyung and Jungkook to fully explore their artistic potential beyond the shadow of BTS's name. They might release music that differs greatly from the genres they performed as part of the group. The creative freedom they seek could lead them toward even greater individual success, even if it means leaving behind the comfort of the group. Such a decision, if it were to happen, would represent a major step in the evolution of their respective careers. The remaining members might also discover new strengths within a smaller formation. They could gain greater freedom to express artistic aspects that may previously have been overshadowed by the need to balance seven distinct personalities. A more concentrated focus on each individual within a smaller group could create a more intimate and focused dynamic. This could mark a stage of maturity for BTS, where they rely less on numbers and more on the depth of their artistry. In the long term, BTS would forever be remembered as the group that reached extraordinary heights with all seven members together. Any structural change would become a separate chapter in their history. Whether BTS could maintain its legendary status after losing two members would be a question that only time and the consistency of their future work could answer. The world would continue to watch every move they make as the remnants of a phenomenal musical force. For the South Korean entertainment industry, this would become an important precedent regarding how idol groups manage major changes. Such a case would be studied as a lesson in flexibility and resilience when facing unexpected internal dynamics. Agencies would be expected to be more transparent and wise in managing relationships among members to prevent similar situations in future groups. BTS's cultural influence would remain, but the way it is expressed would undergo significant transformation. Ultimately, the world would witness how a global cultural phenomenon attempts to redefine itself after losing essential elements. There would be no definitive answer as to whether the outcome would be positive or negative, as much would depend on how the remaining members confront this reality. Fans' hopes would remain, but the circumstances would demand extraordinary adaptation from everyone involved. BTS, in whatever form it may take, would continue to occupy an important place in the history of popular music. In the end, the departure of Taehyung and Jungkook from BTS would mark a turning point that permanently alters the landscape of popular music. Fans might lose their dream lineup, but they would also learn to accept the inevitable evolution of a musical group. BTS would continue to stand as a symbol of dedication and hard work. Regardless of any changes in its lineup, life would move forward for every member, both those who stay and those who choose different paths, with each new chapter bringing its own challenges and opportunities.